Hey, YouTube family, it's Daughter of the Most High. I have some updates for you. The Lord has been speaking to me in this season, and I want to share that with you. Um, I just want to say up front that God has been speaking to me through numbers a lot in this season. And for some reason, that's one of the ways, or one of the most common ways, that He chooses to speak to me. And I know some people struggle with that. Um, I don't know what to say. I believe I'm hearing from God. I'm seeing, I'll share what I've been seeing, that sort of thing. And some people that have this in their life understand it, and then other people really highly question it. So um, it's the way the Lord chooses to work with me. So I'll go ahead and share what I have to share and what He's been speaking to me. And so let me begin first with, for months and months, the Lord has been showing me 202 on, like, it'll be license plates and clocks and other things where there's numbers. I will see 202. And 202 has been so common that for months and months, God's been showing me 202, a lot of times on the clock. And 202, I actually typed it out so that I would have it, because I thought the Lord is just speaking to me. 202. And what 202 means is to listen. Apparently, an intensive of 191. That word, a hearer. And it says to listen intently, to hear. And so I knew that the Lord would be speaking something to me, because He's bringing this to my attention. And as I've shared many times before, I am not good at sitting before the Lord quietly. It's just something that I struggle with and really have never been good at. And I wish I was, but I'm just not. So a lot of times God will speak to me like on the fly, you know. Um, so the next thing that happened is, and I shared with this already on previous videos, that, God had that video that was get out of the cities, urging us to get out of the cities. Judgment is coming. I felt like that was for me. If you don't feel like it's for you, that's fine. I felt like it was a word for me. And you just hear and see things differently when you know, or at least are thinking it's from God. Because I have questioned God all through this. Because it's like, God, really? Are you really directing me like this? Because this move is so huge for me. And so I've really been like, are you sure, God? That kind of just not 100%, although I keep seeing things. Um, and keep experiencing Him speaking to me. Then I had that dream and I shared that. And so that's what's been happening so far. Well, God showed me 737. And this was, I jotted a little note to myself, and this was last week. It was last Thursday. And this is what I wrote, just a quick jot. I have been so busy lately. So just a quick jot. And I just put very sad, prayed about the move, asked for another confirmation, because, first of all, I don't want to move. I love this house that I live in, and I don't want to move. Or if I was going to move, I want my kids with me, and my kids are not coming with me. So I just said, God, I need another confirmation. And I just had a sadness on the inside of me. And to leave my home and to leave my kids. But I 100% want to provide a place for them to come to or run to. Not run like physically, but, run to if we know that things are looking like, something's going to happen pretty soon, that they seem to be in danger. And so I went to work that day, and a coworker of mine actually had a relapse. He has struggled with addiction much of his life, and he had a relapse, and so he wasn't at work for like a month. And then he had to come back and tie a few things up, And then he was actually staying in a different sober house than the ones that my supervisor has. I work in the treatment center, and then he's got like 6 sober houses. And so he said, can you give me a ride home? And I said, sure. And so I gave him a ride home, and we're just chatting a little bit. And I pull up into the driveway of this new little sober house that isn't far from my supervisor's sober houses. And guess what the house number was? On this day, when I said, God, please, give me another sign, the house number in large numbers was 737. And that's what God had shown me, like move now, move on this kind of thing. And God's been showing me so many numbers, I don't remember exactly how. I need to write them all out, and I haven't done that either. But the house number was 737. So I'm sitting in the driveway of this sober house, and I was like, God, you are so amazing. I didn't know he was going to stop into work to wrap some things up that day. I didn't know he was going to ask me for a ride home. And it was about 10 blocks from where the treatment center, and yep, sure enough, there's the house number 737. Big numbers on the house. So I wrote that down, and so I said, okay, God, I'm seeing that I have to do this, and that it is you directing me to do this. And so please, then my prayer became, help me to do this. And so last weekend on Saturday, I decided to go look at a house about 2.5 hours north of here. And I have been looking in the southern counties, and I decided to check out some of the northern counties. So I drove about 2.5 hours in my van with my dogs with me and decided to look at a house. Now, I did not schedule a viewing like for the inside. I just was going to look at like the house, the yard, look in the windows, that kind of thing. And that's what I did. So I arrived there in that city, and I looked at the house. It's a very oblong backyard. The pictures on Zillow are like different. They look different than they do in real life. The house is cute. It's small, smaller than I was thinking, and but it's out of ways, so I get, again, you get more house for your money when you aren't right in the city, or even just beyond the cities. You got to go a ways out, and then you can actually get more for your dollar. So I was walking around, and I was like, okay. I looked at the neighborhood. The neighborhood's cute, and all just little small cute houses. And I said, okay, God, and the house number on this house is 417. So I thought, okay, and I didn't get any specific leading at that time. So I just drove home, enjoyed the drive there, enjoyed the drive back, spent, the majority of my day in my vehicle with my doggies. And I stopped at McDonald's because I was like starving. And because I drove around the city a little bit. After I looked at the house, I drove around the city a little bit, kind of checking things out. And then I went by the house one more time, and then I decided to leave. And so about a half hour from there, I came across the sign, that sells you gas and McDonald's and Starbucks and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, I am starving. So I pull off and I get a hamburger. I get a quarter pounder and a coffee. And so I ate the quarter pounder, gave my doggies each a couple bites too. And then we were back on the road. And my, the total for I did get a small fry. So quarter pounder, small fry, and coffee, large coffee, was $9.11, which I was surprised it was even that much, but it was $9.11. And now I've seen $9.11 before. So I thought, wow, God, 9/11, emergency. And so I got back into my van. We ate, just sitting there and taking a break and stuff. And then I was driving, and I'm driving along. And sure enough, there's a license plate just like probably not even 10 minutes later. What's on his license plate? 911. We have the 3 and 3s, 3 letters, 3 numbers, and it was 911 on the number side. And I said, really, God? So I was like, okay. So I looked at this property. Now you're giving me the emergency numbers. And so I'm just trying to follow his leading. So I went home, and later, not that day, but since that time, like, I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday, my daughter, I keep spitting. My daughter is a dental assistant, and she cleaned the plaque off the back of my teeth. So I'm all clean, in there. But she cleaned the plaque off that must have been blocking something, because I keep spitting now as I'm talking to you, because I have clean teeth. That's why. So so I was looking at houses again, and I was just looking what's available, southern, a little bit northern, just checking things out. And when I stood up from right here, my computer, is right here, and I stood up, and the clock said 4:17. And I was not expecting that. I'm up late, so it was 4:17 a.m. And I was like, really, God? And that was the house I had just looked at on Saturday, 4:17. The house number. And I said, really, God? You want me in that house? And so I was like, a little bit taken aback and wasn't sure. And the house is 888 square feet. And God talks to me in triples too, like that, 888 square feet. It's little, with a big yard. And so I was, taken a little bit aback, and I was like, okay. So then once my work week starts, it's just like, and so then on my way to work, well, actually this morning, I had been looking at some houses again in the south, in the southern counties. And there are 2 cute new houses that just got listed, one today and one like 3 days ago. And I had set up the showing to go look at these, and they're right at the border between Minnesota and Iowa. So we're going to try to, I was told the real estate agent, which I have not paid for yet, I just am like asking if they can just show me the inside of the house, because I want to look at them. And they were at a good price, and they're more square footage than this house, the house that's north of me. So I was kind of excited about it. I thought, good, maybe I will go south instead of north, and I'm not sure, and just trying to follow the leading and everything. So I'm driving to work, and I was only on the road probably 20 minutes, if that. And sure enough, God draws my attention. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do my weekend, how I'm going to go look at these houses. It's going to be a longer drive. It's 3 hours, 3+ hours south. And I look over, and I see 417 on a license plate. And I said, God, there it is again, 417. Do you want me at that house north of here? Are you showing me that that is the house for me? That's the city for me? That's the neighborhood for me? Really? Because I was thinking about these 2 cute little houses that were much cheaper, in the southern counties of Minnesota. So then I was going to take my turn, and I take a long stretch. It's actually called 169. Go up 169 south. Well, there were so many cars I was like, I could not exit with them. Nobody let me in. So I actually had to go down one more exit. And on that exit, guess what the numbers are? They're 202, which means hearing, to listen intently, to hear. And so the street name is Zachary, and the number is 202. And I'm like, you are speaking to me, God. You're speaking to me about that house north. So then I'm trying to absorb that as I'm driving. And I'm like, okay, God, you know more than I do. You know what's coming. You know what's a good place for me to live, what's a good and safe place for me to live. You know the neighborhood, you know the area, that kind of thing. So I had most of my trip, probably half hour of my drive, and I'm thinking about this and praying about it. And so then I get to work, and sure enough, it's just switch gears because I had just the busiest day. I'm actually really tired tonight. And so I decided, I messaged the realtor that I had just talked to this morning, and I just said, I'm actually leaning towards a different property right now, and so I don't need to see those two showings. And I messaged her after group. It was like 9:30 or so, and so she didn't respond back. And so then at work, when I was at work, then after first I saw the 417, then the 202 when I missed my exit, took that exit, went around and caught my road again. Then I'm driving along and I see 1717 on another license plate, which is really unusual. It was on a big truck. So I looked up 1717 when I actually got to work, and it says, this is so wonderful. It says, in its literal sense, figuratively, of God giving proofs of his saving grace and thus manifesting himself. So that's 1717 in the Greek. Okay? Then I'm driving and I see 505. And I thought, okay, I'll look that up when I get to work. And so I looked it up. Then I'm at work and I'm looking at my computer and I still don't remember. I was trying to think back what I saw it. And there was 505 on something else at work. So then I jotted that down. Oh, that's right. I saw that car with 505. And for some reason, it's like in my spirit, when God's showing me numbers, that it highlights like in my spirit, because there's numbers and letters everywhere, but there's like a little like highlight to the ones that God is like speaking to me about. So let me look up 505 real quick. I don't remember now. Again, I'm so tired right now. There's just been so much lately. This is 505. And 505 means undissembled, sincere, without dissimulation, or in parentheses, hypocrisy, and unfeigned. So it means sincere. I mean, that's the word that stands out of the words that are listed here, sincere. That's 505. And then it gives all the scriptures that, like here, 1 Peter 1:22, seeing you have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned, which is 505, love of the brethren. See that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently. And there's like 6 other verses here. So that was 505. So it's like, wow, God, you are just, I mean, they're just pouring in. So it's pretty amazing what the Lord's doing. So I came home tonight and I looked up the house, the little house that I have for the 417 address, and I'm looking at that, and I was just like, God, is this the house you have for me? Because I need to move on this. You're telling me to move on this, and you've led me back to this little house. And I said, can you show me why, what it is about this little house, what it is? And again, if he doesn't show me why, I really feel like he is telling or directing me towards this house. And I felt like he directed me towards this house, the one I'm sitting in and I've lived in for 14 years. That has been such a great place for me and my kids. And so I did, on Zillow, you can click contact agent. And then I did that, and then she'll text my phone. You pop in your phone number and your email, and then she'll contact me, and I'm going to try to set up a showing for Friday to see the inside of the house. I did peek in the windows. The family is no longer there. It's empty, and so hopefully I can get an easy setup there. So the Lord is moving and shaking. Yeah. And really, really speaking to me. And so I'm so grateful for that. Then, not last night, but the night before, and I was pushed snooze about like 2 times, maybe 3. And if I'm really tired, more like 6 or 7, seriously, because sometimes I wake up so difficultly. But normally it's like a couple times. And I had heard the alarm go off, and I went to push snooze. I keep it across the room. I mean, I'm bad. I do. I can't have it next to my bed or I'd never get up. I've just got this sleep issue. So anyway, and when I was walking back to my bed to lay down for another 9 glorious minutes, I am spitting again. I heard the Lord speak to me, read Psalm 91. And I heard him, and then I went back to sleep. And when I got up, I thought, I got to read Psalm 91. Well, I get up and I get ready. At first, I wake up really cloudy, and I'm getting ready, going to work. Well, I read Psalm 91 last night when I got home. And so God had me read that, and I really feel like I'm supposed to memorize it. And so I want to do that too. I want to memorize Psalm 91. So, but God's direction was just to read it, but I really do want to memorize it. So I have had so much going on lately. I have looked at other properties. I've tried to schedule other properties. I've tried to do a bunch of stuff, and the Lord has led me back to this place, which is actually north, about 2.5 hours north. So, and my kids plan on staying here. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I got to say it quickly because my phone's blinking at me. Last weekend, I was also able to talk to my kids about what's going on and how the Lord is leading me. And even though they don't understand it, they both received it like really well. Now, when it actually comes time for me to move, it's going to be hard on them. We have been together for 22 and 25 years. We have. It's going to be hard on me and hard on them. So, but my kids received it well, which was good, and I'm grateful for that. So that part is done, at least the initial. They know that I'm looking, they know that I'm hearing from God, or at least they think they know I think I'm hearing from God. That's how people are. You think those license plates are talking to you. You think. Anyway, my phone's blinking. I've got to go, but that's the scoop. So anyway, be blessed.